Hi, welcome to the Contra Costa County and Tri-Valley Eldercare channel. My name is Stephanie. I'm the Marketing Director for Horizon Elder Law, as well as today's host for the Contra Costa County and Tri-Valley Eldercare channel. Today I'm here with Francesca Vogel with Home Care Assistance. Home Care Assistance is a nationwide home care company since 2002. Francesca recently joined the Home Care Assistance team in 2014 as a home care liaison serving the Contra Costa County. Our firm has worked with Francesca since 2004. Welcome, Francesca.
Thank you for having me today,
Welcome.
Stephanie. Very nice.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself and your background, how you got involved with helping seniors?
Definitely. I think my passion for seniors is from my long-standing, wonderful, lifetime relationship with my grandparents and being raised by them. They were truly an instrumental part of my life, and I've always just kind of gravitated to seniors. I really enjoy them, and I think they, they just offer so much wisdom, and how they have so many stories to share, and it's just really, I'm really passionate about seniors. So.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing. You have some great experience, and you're clearly very passionate about what you do. I know from my experience with you. Now, I understand Home Care Assistance offers services such as mobility assistance, meal preparation, transportation, those sorts of things. Can you tell us a little bit more how Home Care Assistance is different, or what services you provide in addition to those?
Absolutely. We have some wonderful client care managers that have medical backgrounds, and typically when a family is contacting us, we go out, we do an assessment. That client care manager does an assessment and kind of understanding more about their needs, their preferences, what's really important to them, as well as looking deeper at, do they have the resources to pay for care? Are they able to really age in place at home? And is this something that the client wants? Or would they really benefit from looking into other alternatives like independent senior housing or assisted living communities, as well as board and care facilities? So really, we try to look at the client care manager really tries to look at the client holistically. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really different about our approach and how we approach the senior as well. And some people are they're very resistant to having help and having a stranger in their home. And I think what really gives them a sense of security is that all of our staff are fingerprinted. Mm-hmm. They go through the Department of Justice as well as the FBI, and that's something very not typical for the industry. Mm-hmm. Most agencies do a criminal background check, and they provide that type of level of background investigation, but they don't do the fingerprinting. And I feel that that is really important, and that's one of our differentiators. Mm-hmm. With Home Care Assistance. It's part of our policy, and a lot of places we're not just providing care in the home, we're providing some additional support in facilities, and that's really a requirement in those facilities. So we feel that's really gives that senior a sense of security, knowing that somebody has been background checked. Mm-hmm. I think it's really, really important. In regards to services, the care managers really look at, again, the client holistically and what's going to be in their best interest, as well as what are their needs and preferences and what do they need assistance with. And like you mentioned, we can provide assistance with personal care, cooking, like housekeeping, driving them to appointments, whatever their needs are to age in place.
That's great.
Yeah,
thank you.
Definitely.
So for those of us who don't really know much about hiring a home care provider, you did mention they do some background checks and FBI fingerprinting and all that, but why is it important to hire a company that does that, or just in general, with insurance issues? Why is that important?
I think that you really need to be working with an agency, again, that is doing their due diligence and doing the fingerprinting to really make sure that person is safe, as well as that you're working with an agency like Home Care Assistance that is insured and bonded. We take the liability, and so if a caregiver was to fall in a residence in the client's home, we're responsible.
Right.
The client is not responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And we handle payroll taxes. Our caregivers are our employees, and we really invest in them. Again, we provide ongoing training. We're a professional organization. Whereas when you hire somebody maybe through Craigslist or somebody you know from a friend of a friend, you're taking a big risk to that. And I feel that it's really important, that caregiver understands there's some oversight as well, and our care managers provide that oversight and supervision to that caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that's really important. You're working with a reputable, insured agency. We're also part of a national association for home care agencies that we have to go through a process to be part of that organization. And our hiring criteria is, again, more than most agencies in the community.
Well, that's great. Thanks. I couldn't agree more. I think it's so important that you work with a home care company that covers workers' comp issues or anything. And also, the background checks are so important because people,
Absolutely,
especially caregivers, bond with seniors, and seniors a lot of times will really trust that person. And if they're not background checked, you don't know what they've done in their past or what their history is. And there's elder abuse situations we see in the law office come up that caregivers taking
Absolutely.
advantage. So those are things that are really important that we think are important too.
Absolutely. I think seniors are so vulnerable. I recently just worked with a client, a wife over in Orinda, and unfortunately she had probably over $100,000 taken from a private caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
And so it causes a lot of stress, and a lot of things that can't be replaced. You'll never, they're long-standing jewelry she's in her 80s, and this person has kind of come in and taken over, and they're just having to go through that whole process of the investigation, police officer coming out, dealing with her insurance company. There's actually no recourse, and so she will never see
Mm-hmm.
those jewelries, and that's hard. That's hard
Mm-hmm.
to deal with. And with that being said, you definitely, working with an agency, it's very, very, that is insured and bonded and is fingerprinting their caregivers, it's really less likely to happen.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So if someone wanted to hire home care assistants for themselves or a loved one, is there a contract or commitment that's required?
Great question. Definitely, we don't ask our clients, they're not locked or bound to an agreement with us. They do sign an agreement, a financial agreement. We bill clients every week, and we ask for a 48 hours cancellation policy. We don't ask for any deposits, anything up front. We're just, that's how we provide service. And typically, we definitely also have a good thing to know is we have a long-term care insurance division. And so they actually will process those claims if that client has long-term care insurance. Not many clients, seniors have long-term care insurance, but some do.
Mm-hmm.
And the process is kind of overwhelming. So we take that upon ourselves. We don't charge for that service. We have a whole department that does that. And, I didn't mention before, we are a very large company. We have about 100 sites throughout California, and we just opened a site in Australia. Very exciting.
Wow.
But here in the Bay Area, we have sites in Marin. We have sites all down the South Bay. We are a corporation. We have about 20 corporate sites and about 80 franchises.
Wow.
Throughout the country. Just recently, I was able to help an attorney with a client that was out of state,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really exciting because I have a great team of professionals across the country to work with again.
Awesome.
So it's really exciting.
That's great. Well, thanks for sharing.
Definitely.
So does home care assistants have a minimum hourly or?
Great question. We have a 4-hour minimum.
Okay.
There's nothing, again, like I said, contractual locking or binding. We typically can provide 4 hours, once, twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever the need is. There's no minimum number of hours that are required per week. It's just a 4-hour minimum per visit.
Okay. What about 24-hour care
Absolutely.
or overnight?
Great question. And that kind of brings me to, we have really some great handbooks. Our actual founder with home care assistants they've published some wonderful books to help seniors and their families to understand more about home care and looking for care, as well as some guides and tools how to help a client, when they're returning from home from a hospital situation. These are great tools and very, very helpful. These were all published, by our founders, and you can get more information on our website with that. But I would like to say that we do a fantastic job of live-ins. That's probably we're experts in live-ins. I think that we really we provide great caregiver training, and so we have long-standing live-ins that are really enjoy working for us, and we do pay more than most agencies to our live-ins, and we provide a lot of support to them. And recently there was an overtime law passed, and again, we follow all the regulations with the overtime laws, and we pay our caregivers accordingly. So I think that's why we've been able to really continue to provide live-in care. So yes, we do provide live-in care. I didn't share with you, on average cost for care is anywhere between $26 to $28 an hour for hourly care. And live-in care typically is about $3.50 a day on average. Typically when we have live-in care, we have two caregivers that are working, splitting a 7-day week. So we have two people that are going in, so there's no burnout.
Okay, that's
And a requirement is that the client is sleeping at night. That's a big requirement in order for that caregiver to get rest and provide good care. They need to sleep at night. If a client is more in a hospice-related situation where they're end of life, then we would be placing 2 12-hour shifts in there. And again, we provide 2 12-hour shifts, and we don't charge overtime.
okay.
We do pay our caregivers overtime and abide that law, but we definitely don't charge the client, so
That's great.
there's no overtime rates there for them,
Well, that's comforting.
except for holidays and
Right.
the typical standard holidays, Christmas, New Year's, things like that. We're pretty straightforward as a company in regards to that, and I think we're very flexible.
Great. Well, that's helpful information. Thank you. So, I know in-home care can be very costly, especially needing a lot of care, 24-hour care
Absolutely.
in particular. Are there any resources besides long-term care insurance that you know of that can help?
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are the gurus here. You're the experts. You provide, information support with VA benefits, and, again, you need to go to a reputable attorney like Horizon Law that can really help, understand more about that client's resources. And I think that's what's so great about our services is that our client care managers really try to go in and understand more about their needs and understand more about their resources. That's huge, because what can we help them? How can we help them supplement this? Do they have long-term care? Is there a possibility for VA benefits? Or do they need to look at medical health planning, and maybe we're not a resource, maybe we're a transitional point, providing some care to them. And so I think we really look at that big picture. And for me, when I'm talking to families, my role is really working with our clients and families initially and sharing with them about our services, but also understanding more about what are their resources and what is important to them, and help guiding and directing them to the appropriate resources in the community. There, again, is in-home support services. You have to qualify for that. You typically don't see a lot of that type of service in our community, but it's there. There's other agencies in the community, maybe they're a little bit less in cost. Maybe the care is not always as good as home care assistance, but again, we're trying to help them find the best resource and the best support in order for them to age in place.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic.
Definitely.
Thanks. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I would. I think one thing that is really exciting about home care assistance, we have a program that a neuropsychologist developed for us. And it really focuses on seniors that are really having difficulties with memory impairment. And having a caregiver come into the home can be somewhat intrusive and invasive. And as seniors, their memory declines, they become very paranoid. And so the approach is really important, how to approach a senior and understand more about memory impairment. And so we have a great program, Cognitive Therapeutics, and I loved it. It's absolutely amazing. A client can have an interventionist come in and actually do an assessment and find out more about where they are cognitively. And then, they really look at their memory, the executive functioning, attention, language, visual and spatial perception, and develop a program tailored to them so a caregiver can really be interacting with them. And there's a lot of games. It's really amazing. And seniors that are just starting, even seniors that are just starting to show a little bit of signs of memory impairment, it's been so wonderful. And clients that are receiving 20 hours a week of care from us, we're happy to incorporate this program at no charge.
Oh, wow.
So it's it's great. It's something really unique and it's exciting. And Dr. Sam, the neurologist that developed it, is absolutely amazing. So it's a great program. And again, we have many other books. The latest book that our founders and our president have just recently came out with, this is just within the end of last year, A Practical Guide to Brain Health, the Brain Boost. Amazing.
Yeah.
And we have a whole series of books, so it's really helpful. And seniors, again, they just love. They're like, oh, that's so informative. And the hospital to home care is amazing. Again, it really shares kind of a step-by-step tool to help people of what to expect when you're discharging from a hospital or a skilled nursing.
Yeah.
What services are out there. It's a great tool.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. This has been wonderful.
Yeah, it's been great learning more about home care assistance and all you guys provide. It's been really interesting. If you would like more information about home care assistance, you can find all their information on the Eldercare channel at www.eastbayeldercarechannel.com, including a link to their website. And if you'd like to call Francesca, her contact phone number is 925-820-8390. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.